Sri Lanka cricket. He's been absolutely accurate, on the money on the surface, no width on offer like the first couple of games. Now you're talking about the cross-seam delivery, Parvez.
In these kind of slow pitches, this is a good option to have. You never know what one might keep a little low, skid on to the batter. This is good stuff for a young man. He's using entire repertoire. He understands these kind of surface. That's a wicket-taking ball for me. An option as well.
Off the mark, Shivam Dube, his fourth delivery. Yeah, a lot has been mentioned about his trip to Chennai, my hometown. And there's another bowler as well who bowls just like Malinga, has the surname of Malinga. Ishan Malinga, who was there. They trained really well for 3 months. Some fabulous batting pitches there as well. But once the great Dennis Lilly comes over, they all bowl bouncers. So it's never a fun time as a batter. So you pick and choose when you go there. He's been great, Chamindu Wickramasinghe. It's been all Sri Lanka so far. Wickramasinghe opening the bowling. Thikshana getting the first breakthrough. Asita Fernando getting rid of Surya Kumar Yadav. Second up for Sanju Samson. Failure for Rinku Singh. They seem pumped up at the moment. Head coach Sanath Jayasuriya. Vanindu Hasaranga was animated as well.
Sri Lanka needed this, especially after the first 2 games under so much of pressure. And they needed to come back. They needed to come back strongly. And this is a great reply. And on the subject of Chamindu Wickramasinghe, I know he's just playing the first game and shouldn't really talk too much ahead. But see, as far as he's concerned, that's the player. But here, he's starting with a new ball and bowling 4 overs. What can he offer with the bat?
In the gap, runs in. Excellent effort from Patirana. Definitely saves 2. What a spell from Wickramasinghe. 4 overs, 1 for 17. India 35 for 4. An excellent stop from Matisha Patirana in the deep, but those 2 runs weren't as valuable, or aren't as valuable as his 4 overs for Parvez Maroof.
It looks like he's just letting Sanjeeva, the physio, that he jarred his shoulder. It's been a while since Matisha Patirana has been having this problem. He's been carrying on playing, having some injections. And if you had noticed, not throwing his 100% from the outfield as well as from the infield. And this is a major news for Sri Lanka. That's his specialized death bowler. Not even bowl a single over. Possibly Charith Asalanka would have hoped at least 2 to 3 overs to be used in the death overs. And now all of a sudden you have a situation in case if Matisha can't bowl. Chamindu Wickramasinghe has bowled out and you only have Asita Fernando who's bowling his second over. 2 overs of death overs. This is important pace for Sri Lanka. They need to keep picking up wickets to stay in the game and reduce that pressure with the death overs.
Well, Asalanka would hope that they get into the lower order of India pretty soon. Just happy to nudge around for singles. Shubman Gill.
This is not good news at all. Let's hope he's all right, but he seemed to be holding on to that shoulder. And this is what happened. Oh, certainly jarred that. Earned the applause of Chamindu Wickramasinghe, but he certainly felt the pain straight away. So Avishka Fernando, I believe, is the substitute. Another young player who did extremely well in the recent Lanka Premier League. Pretty unfortunate not to be in this starting 11. But Sri Lanka might consider it as a positive headache rather than a negative headache.
That's usually the ploy against Shivam Dube. He doesn't enjoy the shorter ball. This was bowled at decent pace.
I'm sure Sanaji Surya Charita Srilanka, new analysing coach, if you may say, in the team, Jayan Mubarak, would have had a massive say in this, how to attack Shivam Dube. As correctly said, Avi, most of the opposition around the world targets Shivam Dube with the bouncer, but most of them overdo it and becomes predictable. Against these kind of players, the bouncer has to be used correctly and properly.
Well said, because that's where Shivam Dube's resurrection as a batter all-rounder. Gives himself room. Another diving stop from Hasaranga. Has he saved two again? Sri Lanka have been brilliant on the field today.
Hasaranga in particular has been on fire. He's been running around, he's been holding on to catchers. Another great effort here. Look at how he gives himself room, creates the width.
Spectacular effort from Vanindu Hasaranga. 2 catches already. Seems like he's a man on a mission today. Sri Lanka have come out all guns blazing after winning the toss. Just 4 boundaries so far. Could be 2. And Shubman Gill does get back quite easily. Chamindu Wickramasinghe, exceptional with the new ball.
Yeah, he was the third most economical spell on debut for Sri Lanka in T20s. And named emerging player of the tournament in the LPL. Scored 186 runs and picked up especially the last over for Dambulla strikers. Though they missed out and they fend with the wooden spoon, that man on screen was the man that everyone opened their eyes for.
Three twos in the over. The story, Chamindu Wickramasinghe getting his cap from Sanat Jayasuriya just 4 or 5 weeks ago. He must have been so disheartened not being picked up in the LPL draft, and comes back 2 months later. What a great game this is. It's turning out for Sri Lanka and bowling a wonderful spell with the new ball. Wide signal.
Well, Sri Lanka will have to be mindful of this. So far they've been good, just 2 wides. But they got to be disciplined here, and they are. Sasita Fernando too has really been good today. 1 for 10. He's been generally good with his line and length. Haven't seen that knuckle ball, which I thought he overdid in that last game. The Sri Lankan bowling generally has been very, very respectable. 2 for 16 for Tikshana Wickramasinghe, a very fine spell. 1 for 17. Last ball of the over.
Nicely done. 9 runs coming off that over. 44 for 4 after 8.
Brilliant start. 44 for 4. Sri Lanka would be over the moon with what they have done so far, considering whom they have dismissed. Now, one of the issues here, as far as I could see, is about the death bowling. We've just seen Matisha Patirana going off the field. Now he is such a vital clock in that second 10 overs. Ramesh Mendis comes on into his fourth game. So that is going to be an interesting area to keep an eye on. What is Charita Srilanka's strategy going to be?
Yes, Roshan, and he'll have to figure out a second option if Patirana cannot come back. But he's a hardy young man, Matisha Patirana. He might have received a little bit of a jolt, but I don't think it'll be too serious. Hopefully he will come back. If not, I'm certain that Srilanka will. Asita Fernando has begun well. He's got 2 overs left. He might be held back. Vikramasinghe as well. Oh, no, he's done with his bowling. Beg your pardon. Mahesh Tikshana also bowls in the death, so certainly another option.
See, I can tell you one thing. Sanath Jayasuriya, he's someone who's played with a lot of pain. So I'm sure he's going to force Matisha Patirana, if there's half a chance, to get him to get on the field and bowl.
Is there a possibility of Sanath Jayasuriya coming to the team? Now, Roshan and
Don't write that off.
Don't
left
write
arm
it off.
spin.
Nothing beyond him.
But this is a wonderful performance from the Sri Lankan bowlers so far. And I think the one thing that really can be highlighted is the performance of both the young seamers, Vikramasinghe and Fernando, both of them. Impeccable in the line and length. On a surface like this, which is not so conducive to batting or that fluent stroke play that we've been accustomed to, they've been brilliant.
That's it. Ramesh Mendis. Not the greatest delivery, but it doesn't matter. There was a bit of a juggle for Kusal Mendes, but India's 5th wicket is down, and that's Dubey.
When it rains, it pours. Outside the off stump. Looked like it held up in the wicket just a bit. You could hear that nick almost here in the dressing room. The second floor. Ramesh Mendis picks up his first wicket in his first over. He gets the 6 hitting big fish, Shivam Dubey. He goes. For 13 or 14 deliveries, India are in a spot of bother. In fact, more than one. 48 for 5.
Half of the Indian side out for 48 in the 9th over. They're starting to see some turn. Well, the pace is important. Ramesh Mendis anyway gives it a lot of revs as an off-spin bowler. And we've seen him getting some response off the surface. And also we've seen that it appears to be getting a little bit stuck in the pitch most of the time. Rinku Singh's wicket was a very good example of that. Where the bottom hand came into play straight away. Oh, look at that. What about that?
Well, we were talking about this as I went and had a look at the wicket today, and it was really, really dry. In fact, almost dusty. Young Riyan Parag, 4 innings, just 31 runs. Early days, batting down the order, not at his best position. Testy times for him. Gets off the mark.
I think the overcast conditions, Roshan and Robbie, with the wickets under cover, that is why we see the wicket behaving in this manner, so mischievous at this stage. A thickish outside edge and good work behind the stumps. A big deflection, you need to watch the ball as it comes off the bat, and he did that so well. The tackiness that we see here is because of that. Down the leg side again, good work by the wicketkeeper. He has covered all the angles very well.
I suspect that this is going to be obviously a low scoring game. I think anything around 140, 150 will be a good score on this wicket, given the nature of this wicket.
Slightly slow. They want two here, and they're running well. It's been brilliant running by the Indian batters. And a direct hit. I think he was in. But always direct hit. Yes, easy. They're not going to take any chances, these umpires today.
TV
They
umpire
will
director,
never
we have
take
a
chances on
umpire
direct hits.
referral for a run out from umpire Ruchi Sen. Please show me the best side on angle, please.
And stand by hop 1, roll hop 1.
Ball it. Okay, batsman has clearly made his ground before the wicket is put down. I have a decision for the giant screen.
So that was an easy decision. India 53 for 5. Wanidu Hasaranga gets introduced a little bit later than usual. Now this could be because Matisha Patirana is still not absolutely sure of coming on. So Charita Srilanka is looking at his options.
Yeah, you can see the ball sticking into the ground there and not coming through. And it has been the nature of the wicket this entire innings so far. Interesting to see if even if Patirana does come back into the field of play, if he'll be allowed to bowl immediately, because it's not an external injury, it's an internal injury. So there might be another thing that they will have to contend with, Sri Lanka.
But look at what Sri Lanka has achieved so far, and all this is without Patirana. 55 for 5, strong Indian batting lineup, Surya Kumar Yadav back in the hut, Rinku Singh was promoted. That's what happened with Patirana. A valiant effort, managed to save some runs, and then he has injured his shoulder. So this kind of performance should actually invigorate the Sri Lankan side in such a big way. Huge confidence for them.
This is clever cricket, this from these two. This is how he felt when he left the field with the physio. Might have just jarred it a little bit. Can feel uncomfortable. Perhaps he's just icing it for that 13-15 minutes that is status quo for most cricketers, and then he'll come back on. Very clever by the Indians. Trying to push for two. But Mendes on the button there. This is interesting. You need to get those singles. Make sure you don't lose back-to-back wickets. Interesting.
See, looking at Wanidu Hasaranga's pace, he generally is in the mid-80s to the high 80s, but you could see that he's dropped it here. He's searching for something, and that's what he's looking for. He's searching for something off the pitch.
He certainly is. Bowling slower through the air. That means a little bit more revs on the ball, which brings a little bit more purchase off the wicket. So more turn. Has been 5 overs since the last boundary for this Indian team, which is rare in these times. Tucks it away off his hips again, within the square for another single. It's the end of the over. 59 for 5 after 10.
At the halfway stage, India 59 for 5 at the current rate 118. Well, what about this now, Matisha Patirana? This is what I think Robin was talking about the icing, and that's exactly what he's doing. Now the question is, how long would he go on with the icing? 15 minutes, you said, Robin?
13 minutes is minimum, and once the 30 minutes are done, then they'll give it another 10 minutes to kind of let it go and see if there's some more blood flow back through that area which is injured. And then if he's a little bit if he's pain free, then he probably will come out again and bowl again. I think it'll be the umpire's perspective on if it's an internal or external injury and if he'll be allowed to bowl or not. Hazaranga is also finds himself in the dugout at the moment. It's perhaps just a loo break.
Down the ground, that's for, I think, a boundary after quite a while. After 33 balls, that's a very long time.
Very rare in Indian cricket. It was pitched right up in the arc, over pitched, error in length, and Riyan Parag takes full